Moving on to the other example 4, we're going to scroll down here. We have a parallelogram, and it's labeled A, B, C, D. So with this particular parallelogram, we're given some information. Well, a lot of the information we need is, well, we're looking at trying to find the coordinates of point A here. So we need to know really this horizontal distance, okay? The vertical distance, the y-coordinate, is actually pretty easy. We know that's going to be 0 because it's right on the x-axis, okay? So really we're just interested in this missing x value here. So we're not really concerned with this value c and this value c just because, I mean, it doesn't give us any information. We're more interested in the horizontal information. So we're interested in this a, whoops, looking for the highlighter. We're interested in this A and this B potentially, okay? So let's go ahead and start figuring this out, okay? Now, the first clue is we know this distance is A, okay? So if that's A and this is a parallelogram, then that means this distance on this side is also A. Why is that useful? Well, now we know one of the sides of the parallelogram. Okay, now, how does this B help us? Well, this B is the distance from the y-axis to the vertex. So that's point B. Okay, now notice point B does not cover the entire section of A. Notice there's a little bit missing distance here. And that happens to be the information we want for our x value. So how do we find that? Well, if this whole distance is A and that partial distance is B, and then we're looking for the difference between the two, we know we need to subtract because difference means subtraction in math. So this distance right here is going to be A minus the distance that we don't really want, B, and that will be our missing value, okay? That might confuse some people. If it does, let's consider a problem where we're given, instead of a variable, we're given a number. So let's say A is 10. So these two sides are 10. And let's say B, instead of being B, is 8. So if this whole side is 10 units and this distance right here is 8, then how much is missing here? Well, that's a simple math problem. We would know that 8 plus the question mark equals 10. And with simple algebra, we could subtract 8 from both sides and discover that question mark is equal to 10 minus 8, or 2. And I'll write 2 down here, but really I wanted to show that 10 minus 8 is the answer. Why? Well, what did we substitute the values in? We substituted 10 for A, so let's rewrite the A, and we substituted 8 for B, so let's rewrite the B. Notice how we get the same answer we got before, A minus B. Okay, so our answer is A minus B for that distance. Now, that's the distance. If we're going in the negative direction, how does it impact the problem? Well, it's not going to be a positive distance. It's going the negative direction, so we need to make it a negative distance, okay? See how we're to the left of the y-axis? So that's why it's a negative distance, okay? Let me erase that. Getting messy. So it's a negative A minus B. What does that translate to? Obviously, that looks a little ugly, so let's change it. That's going to be a negative 8. We're going to use a distributive property to both terms inside. Negative A, negative times negative, positive B, comma, 0, and there's our answer. Tune in for the last series of videos. It might be 1 or 2, depending on how long it takes to figure out example 5. That's going to be our last set of